I have a simple question for you. Why do we remember our past? I'm asking because if we are capable of doing something, then there must be a reason behind it, right? The past can hurt or it can heal us, and the difference lies behind the way we interpret it. More than that, one cannot truly follow the right path without connecting the dots backward, and that requires facing who you are regardless of how painful it is.
I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Ah, you see? So what are you going to do?
First, I'm gonna take your stick.
No, not a stick. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going back!
The brain always brings forth past memories, mistakes, painful events, and traumas because it wants us to complete a puzzle. You can consider this as crying out for mastery. We somehow go through life and certain things happen to us, and sometimes they are out of our control. The brain tries to get in touch with us for a new discovery about what's lacking by saying, "Look, we experienced something like this and I don't want you to experience it again." That's why we have a memory, to take a lesson and shape our future properly. We need to know how well situated we are in the world for our future safety. The problem is that our past is not always sunshine and rainbows, but it's often full of painful and shameful memories. Well, what's the common human response in a possible painful situation? Of course, to escape. It's always easier to act as if nothing happened because you certainly feel less pain in the short term. That is one of the core reasons for anxiety. It is running away from who we are. Escape is not a wise decision, but a primal response as an order of our animal brain. If you never reconcile with your past, you carry its burden for your whole life. If that's the issue, the past becomes full of heavy emotional baggage that we bring with us wherever we go. Straightening out our past is our duty, and running away is denying the responsibility of being a human. Denial cannot change the truth. Contrarily, you pay the price with an increased load in terms of suffering. The past would never stop bothering you if you haven't figured out the causal chains, make the required analysis, and learn from it. Once we extract the wisdom out of it, the past just gets off our tail. We all have past traumatic experiences that haunt us. Maybe we were hurt, afraid, bullied, or humiliated, which led us to retreat into our shells. We can't perform at our best because a big beam of energy was stuck there. It's like our soul is trapped at that moment. These traumas stop us from being happy, joyful, and living in the present moment because we are always worried and anxious about it. For instance, how can a betrayal from a loved one tear us down? It's because of its destabilizing effect on our past. We are faced with an identity crisis because we are faced with the fact that we lived a lie. It might even shake our faith in humanity with the post-effect of having trust issues. Well, how do you let it go? Let's start with the fact that no matter how bad or serious the situation is, it's always possible to let go of your past. Why should you let it go? Because negative experiences from the past will only hold you back. Why would you want unnecessary suffering in your life that will limit you all the time? Here are the 5 effective ways to let go of your past. First, acceptance. Everything in life will certainly not happen in the way you want it. In fact, very few things will happen the way you want it. The world is complicated beyond comprehension, and we barely understand a little bit of it. We have no chance but to get along well with the complexity, serendipity, and unpredictability of life. We know very little, so it's completely normal when things haven't gone in the way we expect. Things may be good or bad if you label them so. Just because your limited mind can't grasp the hidden causes, do not immediately take it the wrong way. Every cloud has a silver lining, so with hardship comes ease. Always keep in mind that life has its own agenda, and it's always happening in the way it should be. Get over yourself. Let's say you let your mind wander, and inevitably ended up thinking those good and bad childhood memories again. If you find a chance to talk to people from those times, you will notice that they don't even remember those memories. There's a point in life when you stop caring what everyone thinks because you realize they never cared about you at all. The sooner you reach this stage, the better for you. People are selfish by nature, so it's not even about you, it's mostly about them. You may be worried about how they perceived you, how embarrassing the situation was, what an awful mistake you have done, etc. But at the end of the day, these all don't matter at all. You have to be able to get over yourself in order to see things clearly. To move on, you need to look at the reality of the situation, and that's impossible when you're dealing with bullshit personal insecurities. When your ego continuously gets in your way, you can't have a healthy relationship with reality. Why do we take things personally then? When a driver is behind you tailgating and flashing lights, is it about you? No, it's mostly because he's in a hurry. People drop negative comments, especially to hurt the opposite side. Is this about you? No, because only hurt people try to hurt others. A healthy individual wouldn't be a part of negative vibe spreading discussion. People might get involved in all kinds of absurdity just to feel better and suppress their pain. You only take it personally if you have a lack of understanding about yourself. Your doubts and insecurities can find place to grow. You must keep yourself out of the equation and try to analyze the situation in an objective reality. When you reach a level of unshakable certainty, then only your thoughts about yourself will matter because you will know yourself better than anyone. Identify emotional triggers. When you're triggered emotionally, it's a sign of an incomplete mental puzzle. Before all, keep in mind that it's such a healthy and normal response. Your body lets you know that your wounds need to be healed, but you have to figure out how you will cope with that. It's not realistic to be mindful all the time, because we are human and we all can overreact at some point. The process will be a lot easier if we don't try to carry a perfect self-image. Rather than blaming ourselves for why we act that way, the healthy option would be to dive deep into the roots of the issue. Emotional triggers are not the messenger of guilt, self-hate, trouble, or blame. They are the sign of a lack of understanding. Instead of judging yourself, when you curiously ask about the core reasons why people or certain events could easily make you defensive, the story will eventually come up to the surface. Here are some practical steps. Breathe. When our ego is triggered, the brain proceeds to fight or flight mode. The easiest way to change your physiological response is by controlling your breathing. Just get in the habit of taking a deep breath and slowly letting it out before giving a response. Accept what you're experiencing. The emotions that we are feeling are real and they are trying to tell us something about ourselves. Whether they are positive or negative, do not suppress them, but try to learn from them. Non-identify yourself with the experience. You are not your body, your mind, or your emotions. Once you detach yourself from the situation, start looking for the answers. Was it about your past? Maybe it was something about your childhood. Maybe you read the situation wrong by false accusations. Listening to the story from the other side might help you as well. Write it out. The pen is the perfect tool for getting in touch with your emotions. Let it reveal your insecurities, uncertainties, worries, and all. The one thing you're trying to hold is the one thing you got to let go of. It's better to see them on paper rather than to stay hidden in the shrouded places of your mind. Vast research shows that writing about uncertain things, past traumas, or mistakes can even improve physical health by boosting immune functioning. There is only one rule in writing: tell the truth. Take your time and find the most suitable way to put your story into words. Don't make the mistake of locking everything away in the back of your mind until it finally bursts out of you. What is happening in your mind matters. If you're saying, "That's logical, I'll do that one day," then you're just procrastinating and continuing to stay away from it. We never say, "I'll never do it." We just say, "I'll do it one day or later." Now, believe it or not, now is the perfect time to do it. It's all in your head. When you think about all the anxiety and mental suffering, it's either something terrible that happened in the past or might happen in the future. So we mostly suffer from something that does not exist at the moment. It's all in our minds. What we are suffering is simply our memory or our imagination. It doesn't mean that we should just forget what happened. That would be silly. Memory is there to be used as wisdom. There is nothing wrong with your past, but if you make misery out of it, that's what's wrong. Unnecessary suffering only happens when your mind turns against you. We are not our past experiences. We are not our thoughts either. We can control our consciousness by working on this data to extract wisdom out of it. Always be active. A big reason why a lot of us live in the past is that our present sucks and we don't see any future. When you're idle, the past can bother you and cloud your mind with unnecessary negative thoughts. Once the positive momentum in your life is lost, you fall into overthinking trap which leads to ruminating about all the past garbage. That's why we are all obliged to engage in a meaningful activity that will help us to gain some speed to pull us out of restlessness. There is a paradox here. We already find ourselves in self-pitying and demotivated situation because of our idleness. And the moment we compromise, delay, and procrastinate, life turns into hell. This is the paradox that's hard to grasp in a lifetime because until you start working, motivation never says hello to you. But once I'm working, I can let myself become cheerful, upbeat, and primed to help. I can see everything more clearly and life flows in its natural rhythm because I can let it go. Things only get worse when you prioritize self-indulgence and it leads you to drown in meaninglessness with further complications. I don't know your situation. Perhaps you're heartbroken. Perhaps you are feeling stressed and demotivated. Perhaps you just need somebody to tell you keep your head up. But remember, whatever is that you're dealing with just happened because you're strong enough to overcome it. So just find out that strength within and become stronger because you wanna be more.